It wouldn't be Food Travels to Sicily without a beautiful pasta. In Sicily, every single corner has a tiny restaurant with great pasta and beautiful tomato sauce. We're gonna make the tomato sauce and the pasta coming up right now. And we're going to make the main dish. We are going to make a little Sicilian Al Forno pasta. Doesn't that sound impressive?
Oh, it sounds delicious. I love pasta. That's my favorite dish.
Oh, Chloe,
anything with pasta.
Too. I know, me too. I love pasta as well. And Al Forno sounds really, really special, doesn't it? Like
yes.
It's something exotic. You know what Al Forno means in Italian?
What?
Baked in the oven.
Sounds sexy. Al Forno.
Okay, so one of the things you're going to notice with this pasta is we're starting to use some of the same ingredients again, because these are ingredients that are used all over the island, all over Italy, in fact. And we're doing some of the same things to the ingredients. So for instance, we're using red onions like we chopped before. We're gonna use a little bit of fire roasted tomatoes to make our tomato sauce. You know, I love the fire roasted tomatoes. I buy canned tomatoes in this time of year, but you can make your own fire roasted tomatoes by just broiling some Roma tomatoes as well, yes.
I'll have to try that.
And so we're going to go ahead and start. This is about 2 cups of the red onions that we chopped earlier. And we're gonna get those on the stove with a little bit of olive oil. So I'm just gonna put our olive oil. Woo, those onions are smelly, aren't they? So let me tell you what else we're doing, and we'll do a little work while those are starting to saute down.
Okay.
It's gonna take about 5 minutes for those to get really nice and soft. What you're looking for is on a medium to medium high heat for those onions to get translucent and just kind of relax in your pan.
Okay.
Okay, so the next thing I wanna show you, after our onions are done, we're gonna do some garlic. Okay, so we have 2 cloves of garlic here that we're gonna use. And I know you know what this is.
Microplane.
Yes.
I love that.
I do too. Okay, so we're gonna grate our garlic instead of chopping it. And the reason we're gonna grate our garlic is because it's gonna be so fine, it's literally gonna melt into everything we put it in. You know, one of my pet peeves is if I get something and I get a hunk of garlic in it because someone wasn't a good chopper.
Right. Me.
So if we use the, well, you know how to do it because you know the microplane.
I've played around with this before.
Okay.
Do you want me to put it on here?
Yeah. And so one of the things that will help you, Chloe, is if you rest the microplane on the bowl. Yeah, there you go. Now, doesn't that feel like you have more leverage?
It's much easier.
So there we go. And then look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous? So let's go ahead and we're gonna whack it on the bowl to take it off. So if you'll go ahead and do the rest of that garlic for me. Then we have a couple of other ingredients. All these ingredients can be found right in the regular old grocery store. And one of the ingredients is Italian seasoning. So you want to smell it?
Oh, lovely.
doesn't
So
that just
what
smell?
is inside of Italian seasoning?
Thank you for asking. It's oregano, it's basil, it's thyme. It might be a little bit of marjoram. So it's all those beautiful Mediterranean herbs, and they're all dried and ground. Now let me give you the scoop on when to use dry seasoning and or dry herbs and when to use fresh herbs. The dried herbs you use in dishes that take longer than 30 minutes. 30 minutes or longer.
Like in a sauce?
Exactly. If you're making your grandfather's red sauce and it takes 4 hours to make, you definitely use dried herbs. And we're using dried herbs because we're going to cook this sauce for about 30 minutes.
Okay.
So that doesn't mean we can't finish with beautiful fresh herbs at the end. So if we have a little bit of beautiful basil like we had in that pesto and things like that, we can scatter some of that on top.
That sounds good.
Okay, I'm gonna get you to do one more. And while you do that, I'm gonna go back to the back and get our onions bag, our veg stock bag that you just learned about.
Yes.
Okay, so there we go, you've got it, and you whacked it off, so you've got your beautiful garlic there. Now, you're gonna put your garlic in the onions when they're almost all done. They're almost translucent, they're all soft, because look how small this garlic is compared to the size of the onion. It's gonna burn before it cooks, right?
Yes.
So we've got some grated garlic, we're just gonna plop that in, we're gonna stir it around for just a minute, less than that, 20 seconds. We're gonna start smelling that beautiful garlic aroma, and the garlic is cooked.
Oh.
So here we go. I'm going to come back here, and there we go. And I'm going to stir up our garlic in here. All right. So I'm going to bring this back over so we can put the rest of our ingredients in, and then we'll put it on the stove for about 30 minutes to cook off. So first of all, let's go ahead and plop in those fire roasted tomatoes. So there we go. So those go in there. Doesn't it smell divine?
It smells delicious.
Yum! Okay, and now we've got the Italian seasoning. Okay, we're gonna put in just a pinch, I'll let you pinch, of red pepper flakes.
I like a lot of red pepper.
Okay, up to you.
Yes.
All right. And now last but not least, we're gonna put in about a cup of white wine. Not red wine. Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
The reason we're going to put the white wine in instead of the red is because we want the white wine to bring some more acidity to the table, to this sauce. So now all we have to do is put this back on the stove, and it's going to burble away for 30 minutes. And in 30 minutes, we're going to have the most gorgeous tomato sauce. And guess what? I've got one already ready for us.
Oh.
So here we go. Here's our tomato sauce that has cooked down for about 30 minutes.
Oh, I love the colors.
I know, isn't it beautiful? And you saw how easy that was. Tomato sauce doesn't have to cook all day. Of course, there are beautiful tomato sauces that cook all day, but this is just gonna taste really clean and fresh, and we're really gonna taste that tomatoey flavor. Okay. So now that we've got our tomatoes here, the recipe calls for a package of pasta to be put in the tomato sauce, because we're gonna make that Sicilian Al Forno pasta, and it's layered, okay? So I have a package of Italian pasta, and you can use any shape you like. One of the things I love about Italian pasta is when you go to like Sicily or Italy, every place you go, they have different pasta shapes, and they might even have the same pasta shape as another place, but they call it something different.
I've never seen pasta made like this before.
Isn't it pretty?
It's different.
Okay, so here we go. So and I found this in the regular grocery store, just so you know, where they have all the different pastas. So you can use anything. You could use penny pasta, you know, those are the tubes. You do want to use a shorter pasta though, instead of a long one for this dish. Okay. So if you'll just put that in there for me. And there we go. And then we're gonna stir it up a little bit. So if you wanna stir, I'm gonna get the rest of our ingredients. So here we go. So we're gonna use cheese in this. We were talking earlier about being cheesetarians, right? We love that cheese.
Yes.
Okay, this cheese is, I can even put this aside. This cheese is a cow's milk cheese, and it's an aged provolone. So I'm gonna have you taste it. And we're also gonna use a little bit of that pecorino romano that we used earlier too.
This is delicious.
Yay.
It's very creamy and...
Yeah, it's aged, and it actually is. I just wanted to show you this. When you are buying, you know, I'm a big fan of American products and eating local, but sometimes I just think that you really need to go back to the source, and that is in cheese. Okay, so this provolone cheese is from Italy, and I can tell because the rind on it is actually marked. So this is the real stuff, and that's why it's got such a good punch.
It is very flavorful.
And you know, the more flavorful our cheese is, the less we have to use. And not that there's anything wrong with cheese, heaven forbid, but it's got a lot of fat and calories and all that kind of stuff. And so we want to watch our girlish figures.
Yes, I have to cut back on the cheese.
So we're gonna use a little bit of really good cheese, and then we're gonna also use a secret ingredient.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you ready for the secret ingredient? Yeah,
Yes.
you can put that up there. Okay, so in this food processor, I have 2 cups of pureed cannellini beans. Those are white beans that you can find them right next to the black beans and the red beans in the grocery store.
Beans inside of pasta.
I promise you won't even be able to tell. And it's gonna be better for you, right? These beans, you're never gonna know, but the pasta's gonna be a little bit better for you.
I can't wait to try it.
There's our beans. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a little bit of ricotta cheese in there. Have you had ricotta before?
Yes, I love it.
I ricotta too.
I love all the cheese up there.
Okay, so we're gonna put the ricotta into the food processor along with the beans. And what we're gonna come up with is really, really creamy, yummy. Okay, so loud noise, hopefully. There we go. Okay, so now we have our beautiful beans that the ricotta is mixed up in. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this, and Chloe, if you wanna move that back towards you, and we are also going to use the casserole dish that's right in front of you.
Do you want me to move this here?
Sure. Okay, so we're taking the beans out of the food processor, and then we're gonna add, yay, two more cheeses. Okay, so we have, although this is the aged provolone that we had there, so that's gonna go in. That's about 2 cups of aged provolone. And then what we're also gonna do, I'm gonna hand that over there to you. And then we're gonna use that pecorino romano that we used earlier. Remember the sheep's milk cheese that was so flavorful? So there's that. I'm just gonna move this together a little bit. And now we're gonna have our cheese sauce. So we're gonna use our extra virgin olive oil sprayer. So you wanna spray in here. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is, trying to get this all nice and mixed together. Oh, it even smells good, doesn't it?
Yes.
All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a little bit of your pasta and plop it down in the bottom of the pan. So here we go.
Just cover the whole pan?
Yeah. Okay, okay, so let me go ahead and put in a layer, and I'm gonna let you pat it out a little bit. We're gonna put, and you don't have to be super neat with this. You just put it right on in. And so, and let's move it around just a little bit more, Chloe. Show it who's boss. Okay. And now what you're gonna do is put another layer of your pasta in there. And I'm gonna put some more cheese. So what's gonna happen when we cook this down is it's all gonna kind of go together and get ooey gooey good. So the pasta with the tomato sauce on top of that cheesy goodness.
With the beans.
With the beans. Okay, yeah, if you'll help me there. Okay, and you just, depending on how deep your casserole or gratin dish is, will depend on how many layers you make. But we'll just stop with this one right here. We're gonna put it into the oven. But before we do that, we're gonna use, all right, so they would never use these in Italy. They would make their own breadcrumbs. But I'm trying to cut down so that American cooks can have an easy recipe. So what we're gonna use is panko breadcrumbs. We've used those before together.
Mm-hmm. That's my favorite now.
Yeah, because they're crispily crunchily, right? So here we go. So there we gonna put some panko on. And I'm gonna get you to spray. And I'm gonna get the finished, look at you. You're like a professional.
I know, I learned it from you.
Okay, and so now we're gonna get this and we're gonna put it in the oven. It's gonna be at 350 for about 30 minutes. And when you see it starting to bubble, you can see, I like these glass ones because you can see it right in the middle. When you see it starting to bubble and all the cheese is ooey gooey, then you can take it out and enjoy it. And let me go get, I'm gonna go get the one that's done while you put this one in the oven.
Sure.
And look at this, Chloe.
It looks beautiful. I can't wait to try it.
So this is an awesome thing to do ahead of time too, Chloe. All these recipes can be made ahead of time, but if you want to make this, you can put it all together, stick it in your fridge, bring it out about an hour before you want to cook it off, and then put it in the same 350 oven, and it'll take a little bit longer to cook because it'll be cold, but wouldn't this be fun? I mean, you could even eat this on a Thursday night because you can make it ahead of time. So, you down with the pasta?
Yes, but I would like to try it.
Okay, we will, I promise, in just a minute. We've got to finish off our dinner though, or our fancy lunch, with a little bit of dessert, don't we?
Yes, what are you making?
We're gonna do a limoncello cake.
I love limoncello.
Okay, just a minute. We're gonna be back.